Good morning, everyone. I'm Sarah, the Real Simple Mama. We're going to do, with the hens here in Jurassic Park and we're going to do a quick review video because we are trying a new chicken food. This is the Henhouse Reserve food from Kalmbach. So good morning, everybody. My hens are being really loud this morning, so I apologize. I'm going to try to talk fast. This is not a sponsored video, which means I paid full price for this stuff, and I'm going to just see how my chickens do. We're going to do their initial reaction right now. I'm going to see how their egg production improves or not, and I will tell you, I have a concern with this food. So I did a video not too long ago about what I actually feed my chickens and why, and honestly, one of the reasons that I use the feed that I use is because of price. And I'm looking for a food that, of course, has all the nutrition that the chickens need, from calcium, protein, lysine, all of their other vitamins and things like that. But I also need something that my chickens are actually going to eat. Jeez. And then they're not going to pick and choose and make a huge mess. So this is the first time that I've bought the Henhouse Reserve food from Kalmbach. It is one that you can find like at Tractor Supply, a lot of chicken feed stores. I also found it on Chewy, which I adore. You guys may have heard me talk about Chewy before. And again, I'm a paying customer. They don't pay me to say that. So I wanted to get my chickens a food that's a little bit higher price point, that's a little bit higher quality when it comes to the amount of calcium and the amount of protein that's in it. But the problem was, on feeds that I fed my chickens like this before, and we're gonna see. Tick, 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 tick. On stuff that I fed my chickens before, the problem is they only pick and choose out the cool looking pieces, the exciting pieces, if that makes sense. So like the black oil sunflower seeds, or the peas and the carrots and the corn, the dried veggies, things like that. And they won't eat the actual food, the actual chicken feed, which is the part that actually is formulated to have all of the nutrients that they need. So we are going to do an experiment. You can see all of the different textures, all of the different things that's in this food. Again, I bought a bag of this food. I've never used it before, but it was a little bit higher price point food that's available on Chewy. That's where I order my stuff, because then they deliver it for free. Right? Tick, tick, ticks. So I want to make sure that my chickens are actually going to eat the whole thing though, right? Because if they're not eating the actual feed pellets, the crumbles, that's what is formulated with all of the nutrients and the balanced feed for my chickens who are laying eggs, then I'm not paying $30 and up per bag for them to just get black oil sunflower seeds and some vegetables and basically some scratch. So we're going to see how they do over the next week. So this video is going to be a couple of different clips just to see, right, Gracie? So this video is going to be a couple of different clips as I give my honest review. I would love a food that's like this, that has, forgive the noise, that has a lot of different things in it, where I feel like the chickens are not just getting the bare minimum, but they're getting a lot of great nutrients and things. My hens are all laying eggs. That's the priority for me. But to be honest, I also want to make sure, like I said, that they eat everything. So this video is going to be a couple of different clips. I am also, tick, 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 tick. I am also going to be tracking the eggs that I get to see if the egg production increases. You can do that too if you check down in the video comments, or excuse me, in the video description. I put a link for the Chicken Tenders Journal. That is a downloadable printable that I have made that you can purchase. You purchase it once and you can print it as many times, as many pages as you need. But one of the things you can do is you can track how many eggs you get per day throughout the year. You can track who lays what color eggs, what time of day, all of those kinds of things. So I'm hoping that the two goals that I want from this are that, first of all, that my chickens actually eat all of the food and they're not just picking out what they want and leaving some of it. The other thing, though, is I want the egg production to at least stay the same, but hopefully to improve. The feed that they were on right before this, that I'm gradually mixing in as we transition to this feed, is the regular Kalmbach. It's just their basic chicken feed. I don't feel like it's anything special. I feel like it does the job, but I don't feel like my chicken's eggs have like a particularly like really bright, like amazing yolk, or that the egg production has really gone up. It's just, you know, it works. So I definitely want something that's going to increase egg production. It's going to keep the eggshells strong. Obviously, it's going to have all of the nutrition that my chickens need. But right now, the question is, as you can see, they're not eating a lot of the pellets, like the actual chicken feed, the crumble that's down there. And I want to make sure that they're going to end up eating that if I put it in with their food. So Welcome back yet again. We are out here for the exciting conclusion of our food review of the Kalmbach Henhouse Reserve. So I have good news and bad news, and then I have my final verdict. The good news is I do feel like egg production is definitely up. I have had no problems with soft-shelled eggs or, weak eggs or anything like that. The egg production is definitely up. So the girls are all laying really well. Again, this time of year, their production goes up a little bit anyway, but I do feel like my older girls are definitely kicking back into gear and they're doing really well. So that's the good news. The bad news is that I'm dealing with this mess on the regular. You see all the uneaten food, and it's the same type of particles. It's the same pieces are being eaten as opposed to the pieces that are being left. This is happening all the time. Now, I'm trying to spray it down and sort of not really ferment it, but just try to move it around, or you can scoop it back up and put it back in the feeder. You could put a cookie sheet or a tray down underneath so that you pour it back in, and that would mean, less or no waste in theory, but this is happening like they're going through that full 5-pound feeder, the red and white one in your shot. They're going through that like every 3 days doing this. So, yes, you, Lavender. Yes. So, in my opinion, if you have chickens who will eat all of the feed and not just scratch out and make a huge mess and, pick and choose things, this food can be really, really great. And of course, their egg production is going up with part of this food. But the problem is, they're wasting a ton of it. And I don't want to completely change the way I have their food set up in here with trays and then having to dump it back in and hoping that they eat it the second time and all of this other stuff. This honestly is the same problem that I had with the Grubblies feed. I really love that brand. You can see other videos. And again, I'm not being paid by anybody to do this Kalmbach video, so I'm going to say what I want. I feel like the Grubblies food, it was the same idea. You could see there was black soldier fly larvae in there, and there were different vegetables, and there was all different kinds of stuff. And my chickens did this. Now, the good news with Grubblies is that Grubblies also makes a food where it's all the same nutrients, it's all the same things, but they crumble it all together and they put it just in pellets that look uniform. So my chickens are getting the same nutrients, but they're not picking and choosing. So, in my opinion, for the price, I would not buy Kalmbach again. This Henhouse Reserve, this food that's a little bit more expensive, I feel like it's like $30 or $35 for 30 pounds right now. And I'm in South Central Texas, and I've been ordering it off of Chewy.com. I do feel like that price is really competitive. They do free shipping. So I've gone through, I think this is bag number 3. I wanted to give it like a really good shot. So I did transition food over from Roz, that hen right there in the middle of your shot, is trying to go broody, and I just kicked her out. So now she's just being like a total spaz. So I did use 3 bags, like I said, after gradually transitioning over about 4 days from their previous food to this food to make sure nobody has any indigestion problems, nobody has any issues. Of course, they like this food, they take to it, but I personally can't justify this. Like, this to me is ridiculous, and they're not eating it, and then they knock the feeder over just to get out more of the little pieces that they want. And I'm having to do this with only 7 chickens and like 10 or 15 pounds of food in there. I'm having to do this like every 3 days. And so in my mind, yeah, the food would be great if my chickens would actually eat it all, but it's incredibly wasteful. And so I personally, I'm not going to continue using this food. Again, I wasn't paid by anybody to do this. So I'm going to continue to play around. My good default, like spoiler alert with that other video, my good default food right now is the Purina Lay-In that has the extra omega in it. That's the food that I get because I feel like the egg production is always great. It's not expensive. And to me, it's a little bit more high quality than the Kalmbach base food. So now you have my honest review of this food again that I paid full price for. I'm just not, I love the egg production, but to me, with my lifestyle and the way I have my backyard chickens, this to me is not worth it. So I'm going to switch back probably to Purina for now. And then as we continue to make more money off of our chickens, then hopefully we can afford to go for Grubblies full time. So let me know in the comments. Sorry, I'm trying to kick them away from the eggs. Let me know down in the comments what feed you're using, if you've tried this, if you like it, what you think about it, and we'll be back soon.